Welcome back to the Road to National series. In this episode, I'm going to take you through a deload upper workout, and later on in the video, I'm going to talk to you about deloads. So first things first, I still sort of do a main movement for the workout. I try and pick a barbell compound movement, and this week I did some triples at 80 kilos on the strict press. So I see deloads as an opportunity to do movements I don't normally do. I don't find overhead pressing to be having a great carryover onto my bench. That's why I don't regularly include it in my max and dynamic effort variations, but I think it's a great thing to throw in through deloads. I had a lot of fun. I didn't have anything programmed. I just decided to go in and try and have some fun and see what I could do on the strict press. So moving on from this, I then go on to do dips again, because I haven't done dips in a while. Now this is an accessory that I want to bring back into my training more regularly, because I did find it fantastic for my chest and triceps. It's just something that I'd rotated out of my training. I have done dips before in training, and I'm definitely going to bring them back in future workouts. So yeah, doing dips here just as a change of scenery from my normal work. I see deloads as an opportunity to have that bit of a change. After this, I then have chest press, then mag grip lat pull downs, then hammer curls, and then grippers. It was supposed to be an ab workout, but my stomach was feeling dodgy and I did not want to have a disaster. So I decided to do some gripper work in the theme of doing something a little bit different. I find that crushing strength practice from doing the gripper to be great, particularly for holding deadlifts and being able to grab the bar very securely. I've never failed a deadlift on grip, and I attribute that to doing some gripper training. So talking about deloads in general, the first thing to say when it comes to deload, and the most important thing, is that deloading is doing less, not nothing. As you can see in this session, I am still training pretty hard. I aim to train 80% as hard as usual on deloads. So the main purpose of my deloads are to rest my nervous system. And that's because normally I'm doing max effort and dynamic effort work, which is all very high percentage work. I mean, max efforts are literally maxing out, and that can be tremendously fatiguing to the nervous system, particularly because I do both an upper max and a lower max workout every week on top of my dynamics. So the point of my deloads are to rest my nervous system, and I program my deloads every 4th week just because it fits perfectly with my training. I do 3-week waves building up in dynamics, so I do 3 weeks of doing my max efforts, and then the 4th week is a perfect opportunity just to gain some composure, to let my nervous system rest a bit. But as you can see, I'm not doing nothing on my deloads. I think people sort of randomly do deloads and see it as an opportunity to do nothing. Often they'll do it on holidays, which could be a good time to deload if you can't go all out and there's some sort of life things getting in the way of your training. Holidays can be a great opportunity to deload, but people then just miss all of their sessions and think that that's what a deload is. It is not. I still do all of my accessory work and work on my muscular system whilst doing deloads. I'm mainly resting my nervous system. So coming on to programming, like I said, I do program my deloads just because it fits so well with my programming, but I don't think that you have to program your deloads, particularly if you are doing a different type of powerlifting training, or if you're doing like bodybuilding style training. You probably don't have to deload every like 4 weeks or every 6 weeks. You could even go as long as like 8 or 10 weeks without a deload, and your deloads could be quite different, because mine, like I said, are to rest the nervous system primarily. You might be going much easier on your accessories, because that's basically what bodybuilding is. It's doing like lots of single joint or single muscle targeted exercises, and you're doing less compound lifts and neurologically fatiguing lifts like in powerlifting. So your deloads might be going, 60% of your usual weight on accessories, or maybe doing higher sets, lighter weight exercises on your deload weeks. But the main thing is, I don't think that you have to program out your deloads. You can do it as it fits you. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, just slightly knocked my head there. As I mentioned earlier in the video, You can use holidays as a great opportunity to deload. Just deload whenever life gets in the way, but mainly whenever you feel really run down, that can be a great opportunity to deload. The one thing I will say about deloading as you feel or deloading when needed is it can lead to inconsistent training. So I used to deload in that manner, and what I do is often I do a normal week of training, and then it would get to about Friday, and maybe somebody had asked me if I wanted to go out and meet them on a Friday night, and I'd be like, oh, I'll just miss my Friday session. I tell you what, let's treat the back end of this week as a deload. And really, I was doing that too often. I was just using it as an excuse, and it made my training become inconsistent. So if you are deloading whenever you feel like it, whenever you feel like you need to, that is fine, and that can be very effective, particularly, like I say, if you're doing more bodybuilding style work. But I would keep a track of when you last deloaded and made sure that you either properly deload, like do a week of training, don't just miss a load of sessions, do the training as like active recovery, go into the gym, still get some blood into the muscles, but just make sure that you're not using it to like skip half of a week, or whenever a holiday comes up, just use it to write off 2 weeks and say, it's a deload week, it doesn't matter. That isn't quite how it works. You should be doing stuff in your deload. Like I said at the beginning, deloads are doing less, not nothing. So coming back to today's workout, this is me doing my final set on the gripper. I just showed it there. It was the Captains of Crush 2. And I'm doing sets of 5 here. I don't regularly train grippers because my grip strength is pretty good. I've closed the Captains of Crush 2.5 before, and I'm trying to close the 3, which is probably my best lift, ironically. But there, couldn't quite get it on the left side. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff, and have a great day.